And happy new year, everybody. Welcome to Bowling Explained. I'm Jason Thomas, your host. Hope you all had a fantastic holidays and a happy New Year's. Uh, this is the time where we make our New Year's resolutions. Unfortunately for me, there's really not much of a resolution to make. I already lost all the weight I needed to lose. Uh, anyway, you guys, if you remember, I went through a weight loss a plan that was put together by Valerie Bercier. Um, I'd always had some issues losing that extra 20 pounds. I've lost it over the holidays. My wife made pie every day. I've transitioned off the plan into, the regular routine, and I still weigh 157. I just ordered a pair of 31-inch waist Levi's, which I haven't seen since high school. So I'll be trying those on this weekend and hopefully wearing them. But it's been really awesome. Valerie's great. She's got in addition to being one of the top bowlers on the PWBA tour, background in nutrition, and we're going to have her on today, and she's going to introduce two really great clients of hers that are also bowlers as well. So without further ado, I'm going to add Valerie to the show. Valerie, how are you today?
Doing well, thanks. Jason, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks to you. Um, you know, uh, Again, I thanked you on the last show. I had you on, but man, I mean, things have, I think, just gotten better for me since. I had mentioned that maybe I would start trying to, throw the old bowling ball again, and I've been doing that lately. And it's been a long time since I've bowled pain free, and I can tell you the last two times I've gone out and bowled completely pain free while bowling, and then no pain, the day after. So you might see me out there losing my money to Chris Barnes and Jason Couch on the PBA 50 tour soon if things keep going this way.
I love that, Jason. Whenever people tell me about the results like that and the fact that they've embraced the habits and that they're continuing with their success, it just makes me so happy. And I really do believe that we're not supposed to be in pain. Of course, some people, like, we have underlying issues, but there's a really good chance that when you fuel your body well, your inflammation is what it's got. It's a buzzword these days, but that systemic inflammation goes down. So the fact that you're able to do that, it just makes me so happy that you're in the bowling industry and you're able to actually bowl.
Yeah, it's fun. And I always feel like when I'm able to bowl, it just rejuvenates everything in my life, just because it's a great outlet for me to, have fun and do something. It's a hobby, right? I mean, it's one of the things that I love doing. And so, hopefully I'll be able to keep doing it. Hopefully I don't do anything stupid or hurt myself or, try to overdo it or whatnot. But I certainly do appreciate everything you've done for me and for, all the things that you've done for so many people. But today we're going to talk about two of those people, actually talk with two of those people. So why don't you give us a little background on who we're having on today?
Yes. So Michelle and Shaun Sterner are two amazingly just strong people. We met through bowling, obviously. She's a professional bowler for a long time, and her husband is just, he's been in bowling and other sports coaches, other sports, and so they found themselves. Actually, what happened was I posted on Facebook at the end of last year, if you could lose X amount of weight and not fail, how much would you want to lose? Kind of a thing, just to post like that. And Michelle had commented. So I reached out and just said, hey, do you want to do a free health assessment? Is it something that you would actually want to explore or do something about? Because a lot of people, they want, but they're not quite ready yet. And I totally fine with that. I mean, you got to be in a place where you're ready. So I reached out, we did a health assessment. She just wasn't quite ready yet. And then the pandemic hit. And she's like, she'll tell her story too. But at that point, I'd followed up with her, hey, how you doing? And she just made that decision and went running. I get goosebumps thinking about just how quickly how quickly she got results. And then Shaun actually didn't want anything to do with it at first, was just like, you do your thing, honey. Like, it's totally fine. And then was like, wow, actually, I think I could do that. and got his first month's worth of fuelings. If you guys watched the last show, if you haven't watched the last show, we're gonna, you'll learn a lot more about the program, the details, the finer details that you gave Jason last time. But in a nutshell, and he's lost a lot of weight too, and very similar to you, Jason, where like pain and inflammation and all that stuff too. And I cannot wait for them to share their story.
Yeah, that's awesome. And one of the things that I think out of all the shows I've done, I've gotten a lot of good feedback on a lot of the shows. We've had some really great guests on, but this show in particular, I think I've gotten the most like personal, people reaching out and saying, "Hey, what's Valerie's number? How did you do this?" And so that's been really cool. And I had a lady at Costco. I was checking out over the holidays, and I showed her my ID, and she's like, "That's not you." And I go, "Yeah, it is. It's me." And she's like, "Well, let me see your driver's license." So I showed her my driver's license. She says, "That's still not you." And I said, "Well, I grew a beard." And she's like,
Yeah.
"No, that's not it. You're skinny now." And so she actually, asked me about, how I did it, and she's had, trouble herself, and I tried to give her your number. So you might be getting another phone call from somebody that works at Costco in Texas.
Texas. I love that. No, that's what happens, right? When people see it, they want to be able to be kind of where you are. They want that experience. Nobody decided to wake up overweight, nobody decided to carry an extra 20 to 50 pounds. Like, it's just something that happens. And in the society that we live in, it's hard. So a story about that, though, I actually had a client text today that said she's actually, for the first time in a really long time, at her driver's license weight that she had put on there, which you're a woman, that we do.
Yeah, that weight doesn't change, but it's nice when reality matches the fantasy.
Yes, right, exactly. So for all you women out there who put a little less than what you are, by all means, you can do it.
Yeah. Well, why don't we bring Michelle and Shaun on the show? Hey guys, how you doing?
Hi.
Good. How are you?
Doing great. Doing great. Thanks to Valerie again.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we talked a little bit about you guys, before you came on. Why don't you both maybe take turns and tell about your experience, your weight loss journey, I guess, before before you actually went on this plan and lost a bunch of weight. What was your experience, and what were your struggles?
Yeah, you started first, so yeah, you go ahead.
Okay, so it's been for years. I'm in up and down, and then when it would work. I'll say beach body. It works, but to transition, it's not. That's what really drew me to this whole program, is when we talked about it. She's like, "Okay, you eat this much. You eat 2.5 or 3 hours." I'm like, "Okay," and then she's like, "Transition." I'm like, "What do you mean transition?" She's like, "Transition where after you get your weight loss, then we teach you how to maintain." I was like, "Oh my God, that's like a no-brainer." And I was very excited. And that's just what absolutely kept me going and got me through to this point, was the whole transition. And it's so easy, and nothing else worked for me like this. Nothing else has. It's like I said, it's worked, but I couldn't maintain. So
Yeah.
I'm not discrediting other things. I'm saying this
Sure.
just maintenance is amazing for this. This transition and the maintenance is just outstanding. That's outstanding.
Yeah.
And I'm almost there. So
I would say too, for me, I was skeptical throughout the process. And Valerie knows this. We had a conversation where she told me, "Hey, you're going to lose that weight in a month." And I was like, "There's no way. There's no way it's happening. I've tried my whole life, and I've never been able to do it." And then, but I didn't really think through. I was like, "Yeah, I probably will lose the weight at some point." But then, how am I going to keep it off? What am I going to eat after that? Is my life going to be miserable after that,
Right.
eating cardboard? And,
Yeah.
I've, since the last show where I've had a chance to explain it, I have fully transitioned off of the food, and I still have some of it in my cupboard that I use for fuelings. But yeah, I mean, I'm almost back to the diet I had before, which Valerie said was decent, but it just wasn't allowing you to fat burn. And so it's kind of a little bit of experimentation, but like I said, at dessert time, I'm eating pie. I freak out because I think I'm going to gain weight, but then I check the scale in the morning and I'm still 158. So I think at some point my wife will get tired of making pies and it'll save me and I'll go on the road. But anyway, Shaun, what about you? Valerie said you kind of were skeptical like me and saw what Michelle did, and then you decided that might be something for you to try as well.
Yeah, well, my background was a little bit different than Michelle's. I was diagnosed with stage 4 prostate cancer a few years ago, and I had some serious pain and other issues going on. So they took me off of work and put me home, and I spent a lot of time on the couch. You're talking a good solid almost 2 years of basically being on the couch. My feet hurt bad, my knees hurt. It was a struggle to do a lot of things. So, of course, what's the one thing you take solace in? You sit on the couch. I go after my old buddy Doritos, and we would go to work for an entire day. You think, oh, it's not that bad. And then little by little, oh, I'll take a handful. And then by the end of the night, you've pounded a whole bag and a pop and everything on top of it. I was a junkie. Then Michelle said, hey, let's do this plan together. And I was so impressed. I said, absolutely not. I'm not doing that. I just don't care. I had basically almost given up on myself. I said, I don't want to take the time. I'm going to have to work out. And I hurt too much to do any of this. So she started and I watched her go. And man, I was impressed. After about a month, I said, come on, you still have life to live. What are you doing here? You're basically giving up on everything. And I loved to bowl. It had no longer become fun. I was a really good bowler at one point, and like 20 pins had fallen off my average through nothing but being overweight. I couldn't get the leverage into my game anymore. I couldn't get down at the line. And that bowling's a game of, I always call it dominoes. When something little at the beginning goes wrong, it multiplies itself by the time it gets to the line. So you could ask Michelle, every time I went out and bowled league, it was miserable.
Yeah.
So I got on the first week. I dropped like a little over 8 pounds and I was hooked. I liked the food. I was actually really impressed. A lot of time you get to these things and like you said, cardboard, you grab these things. Oh yeah, it's cardboard. Yeah, great. I'm going to live like this for the rest of my life. But when I got into the fuelings, I was instantly hooked. I'm like, man, I really like this stuff. This is good. And another week went by and I lost like another 5-6 pounds. And then I was inspired. I was ready to rock and roll. And it took off from there. And before long, I was walking. And of course, I'm going to my doctor and my numbers are getting better. My weight is getting better. My sugar is dropping. My red blood cell count is getting better. Everything improved. And people think, part of weight loss is you have to go to the gym and you have to be on the treadmill for an hour and you just have to kill yourself. And all I did was a few days a week was walk. And that's the other part of what drew me into. I was burning fat by eating food. I wasn't burning fat by being a lunatic doing so much cardio. That's, I think, a big draw for people if they can realize that. And along the way, our other friends got hooked and had same results. It's been a riot, and we've actually enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a similar experience to you where, I'd been exercising every day. We'd been doing these like 15-mile bike rides every day. And, I stopped losing weight. And then the weather changed. And so we couldn't do it as much. And the last month when I was on the plan, that's when I lost the most weight. And I stopped doing, a lot of the exercise. And I thought, there's no way I'm going to keep losing, this much weight. And I just kept losing. And so anyway, I don't think anybody's advocating not exercising, but
no,
not at all. But it's this misconception. People think you just have to kill yourself and
to lose the
eat
weight.
like a rabbit of just strictly carrots and celery to lose weight. It's just not true.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the things I learned, and Valerie, please jump in, because I'm, by no means an expert at this point. I just play one on a podcast, but So why is it that, people are stuck and they can't lose that weight, even though they feel like maybe they're exercising and they're eating a fairly healthy diet? What's the process?
It usually goes or stems from two reasons. One, they're either trying to do too much with too little fuel, so their body's in starvation. Your body will not go to its reserves if it's not getting enough, because those reserves were designed to actually keep us alive. Heaven forbid we couldn't have access to food. Back then, hunters and gatherers, when we had to do that. Thankfully, we don't necessarily have to do that anymore. But that's one of the reasons. And I just had a conversation earlier today with a client who had that mindset of, I was always programmed to eat less, to diet. Well, our program's 5 in 1, right? And a lot of women, especially some men, a lot of women especially think, well, if I have 4 in 1, then I'll get better results. And it's just not true. And I see Shaun shaking his head. It is the bare minimum that your body needs in terms of protein and vitamins and minerals, and some fat too. Some people say, oh, well, let me just skip the fat. And it's not. You need it. It's bare minimum. And that's what, like Shaun said, it gets your metabolism going, gets fat burn, and it knows systematically that fuel is coming in 2 to 3 hours. So it has no problem going to its fat stores. So that's one of the reasons. The other reason is, if you end up eating pretty well, right? Like, say you eat whole foods, like all organic, and you feel like you're doing all the right things, you probably are, but maybe there's a couple meals in there that will spike your blood sugar. If you have, I'll use pie as an example. If you're trying to be in a fat burn, like you had mentioned earlier, I had said, your plan is great. It's just not necessarily conducive for fat burn, because if you spike your blood sugar, that spikes insulin to bring it down, and insulin's a fat storing. It's essentially a storing hormone. So it'll store the sugar, and if you don't need it, it'll convert it to fat. So if you have a few really good days and then you end up, binging or having even like a brownie, like soda, like Michelle, or they pop, depending on where you live in the country. Yeah. If you have that, that it will spike your blood sugar, spike the insulin, and really, honestly, you cannot get into a good fat burn if you spike your blood sugar, because you can't store fat and burn fat at the same time. They're two completely different processes.
Yeah. So Michelle, I'm going to put a picture up on the screen. It's a little bit of a before and after. While we're looking at that, why don't you talk about, just, how long you were on the plan, what you ate, what you did, and, how long it took you to get from, the picture on one side of the screen to the picture on the other side of the screen.
Oh, good God.
I love it. Look at that. You look so fab.
Let's see. So in the beginning, like, I did it like the first month by myself, because my husband, no. So I kept it really super simple. I had my fuelings, did my water. I grilled chicken and vegetables, and I did that, and I was totally fine. I'm not that person that needs a huge variety. I was totally content, and I was happy, and I didn't get sick of it. I was just like, this is, it was tasty to me, and it tasted good. Like, the stuff tasted good. The feelings are good. So it kept me focused and interested in it. And I started in end of May, and to this, it was in November. So right then and there, that's close to 60 pounds right there.
Wow. 6 months.
Yeah.
Totally
And
different person.
that's what and then I haven't seen a lot of people because of COVID. Like, I have to be very careful. We can't go out. So I haven't been able to bowl as much as I want to. But when I have, people are like, oh my God, what happened to you? And I get embarrassed. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know what to say. But just seeing the results every month and how I felt, like, my energy level was you can ask him. He's like, my God. He goes, what are you doing? I'm like running around the house after work, and he's like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, oh, I got energy. And, my sleep was better. Everything. It was just, I felt better about myself, and my clothes were fitting better. And I was so excited and happy about the whole thing. And then I had Valerie as my coach along the way, encouraging me and, keeping me going. And it just, once you see the results, it's like, you don't want to stop, and you want to just get to that goal. And because I only wanted to lose 40 pounds. And I got there and I'm like, oh, let's go longer. And I did. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Because I didn't think I'd get here. But the program is amazing. I mean, if you just follow it and eat 2.5, 3 hours a day and drink the water, you're guaranteed to lose the weight. Guaranteed.
Yeah, look at that and ask her how much time she spent in the gym there.
Yeah. How much time did you spend in the gym? 0, right?
0.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I transition here, I'll be incorporating a little bit more, just, to stay, sustained, so I don't have to eat little, I'll probably, like you, have some of the feelings just for the ease of it, especially if I go bowl a tournament, like when we're bowling all day, and, that I will absolutely love. But I am going to incorporate a little bit more now. My husband and I just discussed it, and just in it, but it won't be as bad because I won't be worn out, and I won't be able, oh my God, I can't do this. And so I'm definitely looking forward to transition.
Yeah.
Got a little bit ways to go though. So,
Now,
not
have
much.
you had the extra expense of having to buy a whole new wardrobe like I had to do?
Yes. Yes.
How was
I
that?
did. I had to. Like this thing, look at how big this is. This is huge.
I never would have been able to put this on. This thing would have been strapped to me.
So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. You want to hear something funny though? When I first started this, I'm like, Shaun, I just want to lose enough weight to fit in my clothes better, because I don't want to spend money on that wardrobe. Yeah. Once you get there, you're like, nope, hell yeah, heck yeah, sorry. Heck yeah.
That's okay.
I'm gonna go.
You're
for
excited.
It, health and
Yeah, that's a depressing thing when you're spending money to go the other way on a wardrobe.
I
It's
know.
depressing.
Yeah.
It is. So
Yeah,
I got rid of stuff too.
Yeah,
I
I had
did.
done that.
I get rid of the stuff, because then now you got no, you know what?
We're just
going back
not
there.
going back there. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, the good news for me is that the 90s are coming back, and my son has who's actually thinner than me, wants all my old clothes and is cutting them up. So at least they're getting used for something. But
Yeah.
That's
Well,
awesome.
what-
And then you actually buy really cute clothes too, right? Like when you have the opportunity now to buy those clothes that are flattering, and that makes you feel really
Yes.
good about
As
yourself.
cute as it gets right here.
Yes.
Okay, I'm talking to the women out there.
Yeah.
Well, I have
No,
cute
which is
clothes
awesome.
too.
Like, I fit in the clothes that.
I'm still in
I
my
love
Ben
it.
Roethlisberger denial. I'm in denial.
Yeah, he's still hurting.
Sorry to hear that. I do
Why I'm
have
black,
family
state of mourning.
from
Yeah.
Pennsylvania, so I do understand what you're going through.
I'm a Bills fan, so yeah, go Bills.
Yeah, they're still there.
Yes.
So I know when I first had my call with Valerie before we started the plan, we set some goals. I actually blew through those goals and set some new goals, and then I blew past that goal, and I'm like, well, I need to start eating pie because I'm gonna be gone if I don't stop this at some point. But what were your own personal goals, and have you reached those, or have you set new goals for yourself? And what's the future look like?
I did reach my goals, like I told you, the 40 pounds, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to 60, and then I have set some new goals because just for my own sanity, with everything we're going through, my mindset and trying to react to things differently. Like when you go, obviously, about the health book and the life book. It's just a goal to get me through healthier mindset wise. And so I can have some sort, I want to say sanity for myself, because if I react like how I used to react, I would go crazy. And so this whole system has helped me get to that point. Like now I'm at my weight, a little bit less, but now it's a whole thing that I'm going to be working on, and it's getting there. It's a work in progress, but I have her, thank God. And I'm a coach myself, and I'm helping other people to do it too. So, which is helping me immensely.
That's
learning, always learning.
Yeah. Shaun, I know you mentioned you were diagnosed with stage 4 prostate cancer, right?
Yes.
And you said that you've gotten a little bit of a better prognosis since you've gone on the plan. what exactly are we talking about there? I mean, as soon as you told me that, I got concerned about you. But what is your doctor saying about all this stuff? And has he tied some of the improvements in your prognosis to the weight loss and the better health overall?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm a full believer in this is going to, at the very worst, extend my life a great deal. My body has decided to fight back with the proper nutrition inside. Um, my energy, everything simply just went through the roof. And I was now, instead of laying around dreading to do things, I was looking for things to do. And walking was a great outlet for me. It got me out into the sunshine. It got me to see kids playing, and it improved my overall mood. Um, when I started doing this program, I was just about 270 pounds that I had gotten to, and life was just terrible. And although they never came flat out and said it, I think the doctor was looking like, the way this guy is going, it's just not going to be long, because unfortunately for me, the stage 4 comes with a diagnosis of what they call a G10 tumor. And tumors are in the prostate are graded from 2 to 10, 2 being you'll never have to worry about it, to 10 being a beast. And unfortunately, I'm a 10. But this whole time, my numbers have improved. Today, I'm you can see how I look. I just had chemo earlier today. How bad do I look?
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, and I lay that on the nutrition. I lay that on the water that I'm drinking. I can't stress that enough. You just need to drink a lot of water, and it just became routine. Everything changed. My taste changed. I would never be a guy that would eat zucchini noodles. Blah. I would have spit that right out. Oh, please,
Ever.
please.
I could never get him to eat
A
that.
pox on thee. Throw that away. And now I find myself craving stuff like that. We go into Pinterest every night and we look up meals on the plan and we try new things and we're in love with it. And this is part of my overall health goal. This just fits in now with who I am. I don't look at it as people want to refer to it, the diet that you're on, diet. This is not a diet. This is just the way we eat. This is life.
Yeah, that's great to hear. That's great to hear. Valerie, talk a little bit about some of the other benefits, because I know I talked about it on the show that we did when I revealed my journey, but for me there was the inflammation, and I'm learning new stuff every day about the benefits of doing this. So just talk a little bit about that, and what are some of the things you see in some of your other clients in terms of the benefits?
I do have to throw the disclaimer out, because when we do webinars with our company, they have these all sorts of disclaimers about, weight loss isn't guaranteed. Here's the average result. And also, results not typical. Like, of course, if you have underlying conditions, like he consulted with his primary care. So that's when we do a free health assessment, we really dive deep into what some of those conditions are, if your doctor feels like it is a good fit, because it is a pretty low calorie diet. And also, I mean, it's great nutrition. And so you have to be in the right, I guess, stage of your health in order to get into it. And obviously they have amazing results. So they're a testimonial. But anyway, I have to say that. So what you can expect, and a lot, is that weight loss in the beginning, because you're shedding that inflammation, water retention. And because what happens when you have like high carb, high sugar, zero nutrition is your body just like doesn't really, and this is not a scientific term, but like in a way, like doesn't really know what to do with it. And so then it stores it as fat, the sugar, and fat is very inflammatory. So then it causes that response and pulls in water. And I'm sure we all can relate and know about like that bloat that we feel after we eat some stuff like that. So anyway, that's what you would feel, the 5 to 8 pounds or so. Like that's pretty typical in the first week. And then that's motivating, right? Like to know that the effort you put in which is pretty minimal. In the first week, you just got to fuel, 5 and 1, 5 fuelings. They're already pretty much made for you. 1 lean and green that Shaun described just now with the lean protein veggies. You had your wife and your family kind of on board with your lean and greens, Jason. So they're really they're delicious. We have tons of recipes. So if you do that and you're like, man, I actually got pretty good results. I checked in with my coach a bunch, and so I know the support is there, and I think I can do week 2, and then the 40 pounds out of 70 that you thought you probably, the 40 pounds that you thought you could lose happens pretty quickly, and then you get to dream a little bit, and we get to create optimal health as opposed to just losing weight and getting rid of problems. So at this point, and you may not be able to really think about what optimal health looks like. A lot of people can't think about that because they really just want to get rid of the weight or the pain or the medications and stuff like that. But we actually think about what would you want to do with your life if you could? What can you not do right now? Shaun couldn't walk, or at least not comfortably. So that was what he wanted to work toward, was being able to do that. And at one point, you walked 5 miles, and I'm like, who is this guy, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, I was pushing 7 at one point there. Yeah.
Yeah. So
just want to walk around the block before.
Right. You walked from the bed to the couch, right? So for me, the reason I do this, Jason, is because we're here on earth. And I don't know if anybody knows truly why. I feel like some people have figured out their purpose and stuff like that. But I mean, why not make the best of it? Why not live a quality of life? And we have, because of other humans, we have access to transportation that can get us to see amazing places in the world. I want people to be able to have that freedom to go on hikes and to experience it, or play with their grandchildren, get up and down off the floor and chase the little kids and have fun with them. I get goosebumps thinking about it. And if you're in pain or you're carrying around, I did goblet squats today in the gym with a 35-pound kettlebell, and that's heavy. And then I actually did step ups with only 35 pounds. And I'm like, man, that's hard. I can actually, and they both lost quadruple that, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You think about how much that is, and when that's lifted off of you, you feel a lot lighter, and you have better relationships with other people because you feel good about yourself. I think we can all relate to that too. If we're not in a good mood, or we don't feel good about ourselves, or if we spent 15 minutes kind of trying on clothes that fit in the closet and none of them do, or at least I was telling one of my other clients earlier today, I said that was my thing, was I'd put on a pair of jeans, I'd have a muffin top, so I'd have to try to find a shirt that would cover it, and that shirt didn't look good with the jeans, so then I'd have to switch, and it's just I mean, it was awful. And then of course you leave the house not feeling good about yourself, so then you try to do your hair and your makeup to stuff look as pretty as you possibly can. And then heaven forbid if somebody wants to take pictures, and then you're like, well, no, let me put sand in the back. So it just fills me up so much when people are like, I didn't hide in the pictures that I took. I was actually looking forward. I had a couple of clients tell me that last week. During Christmas, I was actually looking forward to those Christmas pictures, and with my kids, I wanted to be in them, and be happy. So, what else, Jason? What else do you want?
No, it's great. And I know you've got to run because you've got clients calling you already, and you got appointments and whatnot to keep. But Shaun and Michelle, what would be kind of your closing thoughts on this whole episode?
Oh, go ahead, honey. You're gonna go first. It's fine.
I just can't stress it enough how good you will feel once you start to do this. As a visual, and something bowlers can relate to, we took a picture of us standing behind 7 bowling balls, and we were each holding them, a couple, and that's what we had lost together. At one point, we were 7 15-pound bowling balls, and imagine carrying that around all day and not being able to put it down. You know what it's like if you ever slung a 3-ball bag over your shoulder and carried it. Man, you can't go far with it. And just think of that towards your game. Think of sinking deeper at the line and the leverage and the power you can create in your game by doing this. It's just an overall thing. Everything feels better. From bowling through the rest of your daily life, you will feel better.
That's a great analogy. For me, it was a triple in a 3-ball bag. And, you know, those are not easy to carry around.
No.
No, they're not.
That's crazy. Michelle, what about
They
you?
go. Pretty much the same. If you bowl in Reno, that's like carrying them all around. So I'm, you know, this year we get to go to Reno, so I'm kind of excited about that. He said it all. I mean, I had knee problems. Now I don't have knee problems. I mean, this is just it takes all the stress off your body and your joints, especially if you're an athlete and you really want to get into that healthy mode. This is I mean, if you're just, even if you're not, you don't have to lose that much. It still gets you into a healthy way to learn and to think. I mean, you know, there's people who need to lose 10 pounds and there's people who lose 50, but it's the whole thing. It's the whole system. It's not just about losing weight. It's a wonderful system to get involved in.
Yeah, you can get away from that RoboCop bowling. We all see that where the guy comes in and he puts the elbow brace on and the knee brace and everything else that goes with it. I had gotten to that point. I was putting on wrist guards and elbow and knee to stop the pain. Now I have none of that. Nothing.
Me too.
You need a helmet.
Right?
That's great. Well, guys, I really appreciate you guys coming on. I'm so happy for you, for everything that you guys are doing. Good luck in the future. You know, if there's anything we can do to help you, let us know. Shaun, good luck with the prostate cancer. Hope that continues to go in the right direction.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. And best of luck, guys. Thanks again for coming on.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. Been great.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
Well, Valerie, it was really, really cool getting to know Michelle and Shaun a little bit more and hear their story. You know, what are your kind of closing thoughts on the whole episode?
I really just want to create hope for people, whether you do our program or not. If you just take baby steps, just, you know, if you eat more vegetables, like Shaun had kind of mentioned, if you just open up to eating one more serving of vegetables per day, or switch out for the high sugary type of treat, or muffins, bagels, just kind of those, like, just take a look at the nutrition facts labels on some of the things that you're eating, switch them with fruit. Maybe switch the fried chicken to baked chicken, and then just evaluate. Do it for long enough. Start with water. I mean, you can drink at least 64 ounces of water a day, track it, feel really good about it, and then see, you know, ask yourself, what's the next step? If you feel like you need a coach and a community and kind of like more structure, or if you feel like you don't have time to prepare meals and to even think, we have a lot of clients that are just like, go, 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 go. I mean, they have really stressful jobs. Then maybe this is a good fit. But either way, I really hope that you get some value out of valuing your health, you know, valuing. I hope you get some value out of this podcast to value your health more, is essentially what I was trying to say.
Yeah. No, and I would add to that, you know, because I tend to be, you know, a know-it-all in every aspect of life. And, you know, I mean, I needed you to come in and show me the right way, you know, that this could work. And so, you know, thank you for doing that. If people out there, you know, are know-it-alls, but then they're not getting results and they need your help, how can they reach you to get your help?
Yeah, I think it was either yesterday or today I posted, it's not about what you know, like what you know, it's about just doing what you know. Because a lot of people do know, they know what to do. It's just a matter of doing it. So so Berberry Health, BERBERRY Health .com, BerberryHealth.com. You can go to services and then free health assessment. You can book it online. Really simple. I'm gonna have to change my schedule for next week though, once I know what squad I'm on. Prayers that I have a negative COVID test.
We could talk about that, but we'll have plenty of time to talk about that next week when you're here bowling. Good luck.
Yes, thank you so much. I really hope that it all works out for everybody that is traveling to the stop. But otherwise, you can book it online or message me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram. yeah, if you're just curious, I mean, follow us, and then we can do a health assessment. There's obviously no strings attached. You can make a decision whenever you want, but yeah, it's really worth it to have a chat.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, if you're interested in Valerie's help, reach out, and you might end up being the next guest on our podcast with a success story. So, Valerie, thanks so much for your time today. I really appreciate you coming on. And again, good luck next week in the PWBA event. I'm sure we'll be talking to you there about some different things other than weight loss, more bowling things, which is exciting.
Yes.
But yeah, thanks so much for taking the time today to come on the show.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jason. I appreciate you and your time.
Yep, you're welcome. Well, that's today's show, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed it. Like Valerie said, if you're interested in her help, burberryhealth.com is the place to go. She's helped obviously Michelle and Shaun, who we met today, and so many other people. She's a busy young lady, and she's a great bowler, and we're going to get to see her bowl next week in the PWBA Kickoff Classic. We're really looking forward to the coverage of that. Starts next Tuesday. So be sure to get your Bowl TV subscription to watch all the coverage, and we'll see you there. But hope you really enjoyed the show today. We're going to take next week off for Bowling Explained so that we can focus on this PWBA bowling event. It's going to be really exciting. So looking forward to bringing you all of the coverage again, starting next Tuesday with a couple of episodes of the PWBA podcast, and then coverage starting the next day, wire to wire coverage right here on Bowl TV. Again, hope you enjoyed the show. I'm Jason Thomas, your host. And remember, on Bowl TV, bowling lives here.